Okay, folks, so what we're going to do right now, we're going to showcase the Elbing. Yes, the Elbing, German Tier 10 destroyer. And I'm going to have my favorite former community contributor, yes, my favorite former community contributor, Mr. Flamu, present this Elbing to you. And most importantly, why I'm doing that is because this gentleman, I'll call him a gentleman, some people may not because of him just being who he is, but I find he knows the ins and outs of this game probably better than anybody else. Does anybody or one person know it all? Of course not. Definitely not. But he's been playing it long enough, understands the technical aspects, how it impacts the actual play of the game itself. So, without further ado, enjoy, folks. Questions, comments, throw in chat. We may respond, we may not. Hard to say. Life is funny.
You know what Melta is trying to tell us by playing a submarine? That you should subscribe to the stream right now. That's what he's trying to tell you, all of you guys. That's what he's trying to tell you. That's what he's pleading you guys to do. Like, why are you not subscribed to Flamo's stream already? That's what the submarine is saying. He doesn't even need to speak. We know he's agreeing. It's incredible. Why are you not subbed? That is a good question. What is he telling us when he plays a CV? That he's brain damaged. Oh god, they have a small land. Imagine how strong that ship is. That would have been really powerful asset to have on your team. Thank you, Ekta. I appreciate the subscription. For Malta. For Malta.
Thanks, man.
Sub for Malta.
I heard Flam was gonna be paying
Malta,
me the sub.
but for Malta. To my channel.
Ah, so you're not giving me the money for that sub?
No, it's mine. Mine now. Fuck
wow, guys, be careful. He's scamming you guys.
Wait, how's that a scam? at what point? What point were you thinking you were gonna get?
Be careful, guys. Careful.
That's crazy talk. That's never gonna happen.
Because if you thought subbing to Flamo equals subbing to me, it clearly doesn't, guys. Because he's giving me nothing.
No way.
Okay, hold on a sec. Talk about a scam. Talk about a scam. What about Ouija, World of Warships, Wargaming, we refer to as Ouija, with their new economy rework. Come on now. Talk about a scam job. These guys just never take a break. They're on full time. How can we get these guys? How can we dig deeper in their pocket? But they do it in such a sly way. If they just be straight up front and actually acknowledge the player base and take some of the criticism back and incorporate that into an overall better experience, yes, it's about creating a better experience, folks. That's what it's about, but they just don't get it. They've got their one way of looking at it, which is very important because it brought this game to fruition for a starter. But there's more to it than just that. Questions, comments, throw in chat. Otherwise, Bob's your uncle. What?
No way.
Bob's everybody's
Subbing
uncle.
to me doesn't equal subbing to you. That's crazy though.
I don't know, man.
Yo, the small one, he's coming in.
Yo, thanks for the sub, man, but I think you subbed to the wrong person, man. The Flamu.
What do you mean, wrong person?
Someone gifted you a sub, man.
Yo! Did you see that small one? Wait, how did it go down? Did you die? No. Wait. Where's the animal on me? Okay, the animal just fucking killed me. Is that fair? Dude, I swear CV should just be yeetus deletus from the game. Remove them. Don't hesitate, don't wait, do it now. Where are you from? Finland. Yo! Gecko with the 10 gifted subs for Malta. For Malta. Pog.
What?
Thank you.
I'm not getting any of that profit, man. What do you mean it's for me?
It's an honor.
Hook me up.
It's an honor. It's an honor. It's like a celebration. It's kind of like when an Instagram influencer markets their new fucking merchandise and then they have the Ukrainian flag for Ukraine. For Ukraine. It's the same thing. For Malta. Wait, where are you going? Actually, are you torturing the sound?
Flamo?
Yes?
There's Salem, look at him right now.
Oh no. Is he having a good time?
Wait.
Hi Wizard with the 5 gifted subs for Malta. Pog.
Did you see
Thank
that?
you.
Salem? I wasn't spotted there, by the way. 2 kilometers away.
Why not?
Why not?
Is
Why
that
not?
good game design and ship design and all sorts of design?
Thanks for the gift subs, man. But guys, you have to understand this money's going to Flamo's pocket, man, not mine.
Thank you for Malta. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. But
No, it's. But you get fame. You get, what is it they call it? Exposure. Oh yeah, exposure. Pog.
exposure.
Pog. Timotheus, thank you for the 5 gifted
Exposure.
subs for Malta.
Exposure. You're getting turbo money right now.
But it's you're
You know?
getting exposure, insane exposure.
You probably got more subs today than I get in like 4 months in a row. I just dev-struck their small on.
Wait, is that class weak?
Am I human?
Thank you, Bigar, for the 19 months. What's in here? Is it like a Z52 or Marceau or something? No, the Marceau is there. The Z52 is on my scab. It's not very good. I think Govenetz is AFK. No, he's angled away. Indeed. Thank you, TVPG. Yo, they're running down our Marceau. This flag is gonna collapse once that happens. Thank you, Christopher, and for the 5 gifted subs. Bunny bits also for Malta. Pog. A lot of
What?
people thanking you here. Big fans, big fans. Thank you, thank you.
I get nothing, man. I'm getting no profit right now.
But they're thanking you. You're getting.
Thank
you're
you
getting,
guys so
It's
much,
warming
man.
your heart. It's warming your heart.
Thanks, guys, but this guy's giving me no money, so
you're getting the warmth in your heart.
I'm working overtime
Truly.
on another person's stream.
Yeah, really hard work what you said.
And I'm getting nothing.
Clickbait, man.
Huh?
Really working. Really sweating over there, man.
I'm getting nothing, guys. He's basically paying me nothing for this overtime.
Insane exposure, though. That's insane. Thank you, Bunny's Bits. Christopher, Rabbit, thank you.
Dude, what about the Montana? I'm torping him from every direction so he can't dodge the torps.
Is that fun? Is that fun if you're the Montana?
I mean, I have 80k damage right now, so it's pretty fun, yeah, for me.
No, why is Z52 so afraid of just pushing out and like killing me?
I'm pretty confident their Montana is molding right now, Flammo. I just landed 6 more torps, bro. The guy is not excited.
3 bounces by Shima. How broken is El Bing Bong? Thank you, surprise can't attack.
I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. He countered me, he countered me, he countered me. Yes.
He used the planes? You're dead.
No, he one-shot me with guns.
Guns! Is that legal?
Yeah.
Was he using AP?
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Can I get some subs for poor Malta dying? Can I get some subs? Can I get some... commemorate his poor death.
What a collab, guys.
For Malta, Armored Macaron.
Collaboration, by the way.
For Malta. I'm dead. No, I'm not. For Malta, I'm alive. For Malta. Tiny Wolf, thank you for the 6 months. For Malta.
Wow, man. Wow, man. Wow.
For Malta, thank you, Tyrant. Is that Cooker gonna shoot me or not? Oh, I'm mounted on. That's not good.
Feueralarm! Problem gelöst! Nebelwand gelegt.
Thank you. Thank you, NCBF. 63 months for Malta. Can I do damage here? There we go. Oh, knock him.
Gegnerisches Schlachtschiff gesunken. A tutte le unità, segnalo la posizione di un bersaglio strategico.
Okay, let's see if we can kill the Nakamo for Malta. How much time? 7 minutes. I should go for the camp as well. Do we dare open water? I think we dare. Not until we have a smoke, he might just torture us. For Malta. Should I start farming? Oh, those skip bombers are scary. Fuck, they spotted me.
Flugabwehrmannschaften in voller Alarmbereitschaft.
We might get tortured by the CV for Malta. Oh shit, he's right on the other side. We're dead, I think. No way you can survive and knock him over on your forehead at this in a DD. Plane cooldown is just non-existent. Hope it bounces over. Yo, he's right around the corner. Can we get vision?
Flugabwehrmannschaften in normaler Alarmbereitschaft.
What the hell? I literally see his planes landing on my forehead and I can't see the CV. Is that good? The reset Montana on the way past. Okay. Oh shit, he's here. I'm dead.
Das gegnerische Team steht kurz vor dem Sieg. Problem gelöst. Gefecht endet in 5 Minuten.
Dude. Come on. For Malta.
What?
For Malta.
Oh my god. Oh my
For
god.
Malta.
Oh my god.
For Malta. Shit, my team might be losing this for Malta as well. For Malta. Can we kill the Montana? Zero hits? Jesus, that's unfortunate. Yo, why is my Venezia? Are you human? Why do we have full HP Venezia in our spawn? With 4 minutes remaining, this guy is full HP begging for... Why is he turning out instead of turning in? What? No way, they're actually kiting away with full HP Venezia. Hello? Like, the enemy team is literally trying to suicide. Run at them. They're trying to lose this. They're actually actively trying to lose this game.
Wait, why is their team running with low HP in? What?
I don't know. It's great. But I don't know why.
They win right now, so...
Yeah, they win easily right now.
Oh?
Venezia, what is he
Nice.
doing though? He's not shooting. He's not going in either. He should be running at them. What is he doing? Yoshino went out of the camp. What am I watching? Silent. Run at them. If
No, you
they
need to speak
are,
in. You need to
run
speak in Soviet.
at them.
Russian, whatever.
A Russian.
Whatever.
Davai, Rushovsky.
I think you need to type it in Cyrillic.
Enemivsky.
Pretty sure you have to write it in Cyrillic, bro. Yeah, look, he's turning opposite way. You have to write it in Cyrillic. He's kiting
shit.
from a 17-kilometer Marceau, bro.
Nice.
Wait.
Wait.
Oh, missed.
Missed. Fuck.
He can get the Zao though. No, but
How is
Zao's
this
gonna
like
go
a
dark.
hard concept for this player base to understand? That if you have 3 minutes remaining and there's 200, like 3 minutes remaining and they have a 400-point lead, you need to kill them. What are these torps as well? Is this like Yoshino dropping 20 km torps for support? They still haven't gotten this camp. Yoshino sailed out of it? Why? Why is he sailing down for B? Who cares if you contest B? That won't win us the game. We need the kills. Does he not understand how points work? Like, instead of wasting all this time running across, he could have just sailed at the enemy. Why is the FDR also still moving away from them? Like, the enemy team tried to throw this, but I think my team was too incompetent to actually embrace it. Like, they couldn't catch the throw. Because they also have no hands.
Huh?
This is kind of insane. What is the FDR doing? Why is he turning away? Yeah? Okay, Marceau is spotted. That's a
If
free
he
kill
kills
for
Marceau,
Venezia.
we win.
Why is he shooting?
He doesn't have time to drop twice. No, he does. He has to go now if he wants to drop twice, or he's gonna miss it, the opportunity. Hello?
He shot all his guns exactly where the FD Marceau was sitting. What is the
Hello?
bomber doing?
Wait. He's not dropping. He won't have time to drop two because it has a 30-second cooldown.
What is he doing?
Oh,
This
What
Marceau
is he
like has
doing?
no hands. But neither does this team. And why is the Venezia still so far away? Dude, he hasn't landed a single shot.
What is he doing? As I've seen so often in this game, you got a win happening. But here we're seeing it the other, from the other side. Okay, so playing, we got a win happening. And then guys just keep charging in, just throw the game. But here, what's very unique is the other team that's ahead, that's winning, is charging in. So by doing that, they can throw the game. But the team that Flamou's on here, they're kiting. Instead of going in, embracing this opportunity and taking advantage of it and turning what would be invariably a loss into a win, they're just friggin' throwing it away. And this happens a lot in the game. I've seen it all too often. But anyways, have I digressed? Quite possibly. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah.
Whoops, wrong button.
Holy shit.
He can't
These
drop
guys
twice.
Dude,
He
look,
can't
the
drop
Zao
twice.
was there torping this guy. Zao actually never left. He just sat there like a potato. And this team
What is
still
that?
lost.
Potato.
Oh my god.
A big potato.
There's his
Wow.
own.
You know how much damage I have?
Yeah, I know. I checked. Yeah, I know. I have
This
150. Not bad, but not good.
Dude,
but I get it.
Dude, this is... this player base, man. Oh, man. This player base.
So there you go. A defeat. The defeat, monsieur. A defeat. So this is what's wrong. These guys just do not get it. It's unfriggin' believable. But it is. What it is, folks. And, hey. What can I say? What can I say? What can I say? Can't say too much, folks. Okay? Not too much. You have any questions, comments? So anyways, I gotta tell you, in our clan, we had a guy that played the Elbing. And it actually, he was actually quite good at it. It was a good little ship. If you know what you're doing, you can make it work. So what we're going to do here now, we're going to go to the Mogador, which is the French Tier 9 DD. But this is going to be in ranked play, okay? In this game, Flamu got accused of cheating. And invariably that will happen. When you know what you're doing and you're playing well, guys will say, oh, you're cheating. Hey, you witnessed it in the United States elections. Donald Trump, famous card. When he's not winning, oh, it's because the other side's cheating. Sure. Whatever you say, buddy. Whatever you say. Okay, so now we're going to go to the Mogador. This is going to be in ranked play here now. It'll be 7 versus 7 here. 7 versus 7.
Mogador's strengths. It is stupidly fast, and it's an excellent gunboat with the reload booster. And these advantages can be leveraged in quickly dealing with enemy destroyers. And that's really one of the best ways of getting a quick advantage in a game, is dealing with enemy destroyers. That's literally what wins you matches. You kill enemy DDs, because if there's no carrier, that's almost always a significant advantage to your team. Are notifications off? No, they're not. Right, let's see. So in this situation, the enemy team, Alsace, Sovietsky Soyuz, Bismarck, Ibuki, Z46, Yugoma, Udaloy. I am by far the fastest ship on the server. I instantly noticed that I'm the fastest ship on the server, so I already popped the speed boost. Normally I mentioned that you want to save your speed boost for when you're actually engaging the enemy, or when you're forced to take evasive maneuvers, you're forced to deal with incoming shell fire. But because I am by a far margin, I am the fastest ship here. The only one who probably even comes close is Udaloy, but even he's going to be quite far off, and so I instantly popped the speed boost. There are multiple reasons for this. First of all, I can probably secure the ACAP before anyone can engage me. Second of all, if an enemy DD, considering the enemy team spawns here, if one of the fast enemy DDs are pushing into the objective, you see all this terrain here? It provides a line of sight. And this line of sight is important because you have poor concealment in the Mogador, 7.5, but you can use this line of sight to close the distance, and when enemy DD comes around the corner, you have potential to ambush. Turpits, you madman. Thank you for the 30. It's absolutely working. Thank you, my dude. So you have ambush potential thanks to the island color here. So this means that unlike in an open water situation, you will probably spot enemy destroyers at the same time as they spot you, because they have to come around the island to actually engage you. Now obviously I'd love to see some of my teammates actually pushing behind me. For example, the Östergötland, I'd love to see him be sailing behind me so he can support me better, instead of taking this super safe route when I'm already doing the scouting for the team. Still, they do ping some support for me, but once again, they're positioning poorly. They're going behind the island, so it's a bit unfortunate. So what I'm hoping for now is to get some sort of ambush on their DDs. They have 3 DDs. One, of course, went here, potentially even 2, but usually you have another DD going towards the A objective. My goal is to try to assassinate him as quickly as possible. So that's why my guns are already pre-aimed. I'm already launching preemptive torpedoes, because if he comes popping out around here, he might be smoking up. When I start fighting him, he might be turning in, whatever. The torpedoes are gonna be a potential problem for him to deal with. So we preemptively launch the torpedoes. Udaloy gets spotted, that's fine. I'm faster than the Udaloys, so I just start disengaging, and once again keeping my guns aimed, hoping to see a potential DD pop up. That is our goal at this point. Alsace pops up, so we see at least 3 ships coming this way. There might be more, we'll figure that out soon. And this is important. I get detected. It's highly unlikely that I'm being detected from here, because look at my speed. I'm doing 52 knots. A DD catching up to me from here, basically highly unlikely that it will happen. I'm too fast for this to be a situation. Now my team is too far away to really support me, but I'm fast enough that I'm not too worried about the incoming fire. But what this tells me is that whoever is spotting me must have come in from this angle. There is a DD up north on this part of the map here. So I already know that this is happening, so I just make sure I see that that's where he has to be, and I already turned my guns. I keep going full speed, because most of the time you actually don't want to acceleration juke the first volley in ranked when you're playing something like a Mogador, because the Mogador is so stupidly fast that most of the time people will underlead, and as I'm going towards island cover, the likelihood of them actually catching me is very, very low. So we dodge the shells just by going straight, and our guns are ready for this potential DD if he pushes too close. And I get detected, and that's exactly what happens. It's a Z46. He was exactly where we predicted, and now we have a general perspective of where all the enemy ships are. If my Östergötland was closer, if my team was closer, this would be a very, very easy kill, but now obviously I have to start angling away when thinking this fight, because there's a chance he might just go nose and smoke up, and there's a chance that the Ibuki and all of them might pour in a lot of shells on me. But this is still a fight I want to take, because Z46 is a ship that I outtrade extremely easily. So instantly pop reload booster, instantly start spamming HE. But I know with the team there just shooting me, they're all ready to shoot me again, so I'm already angling quite steeply away, especially since he does go dark, since he's not even shooting his guns. That's why I'm turning away. If he was engaging me, I would probably be slowing it down and making sure I get the kill, but this guy doesn't even want to shoot me, which means he's just looking to disengage, and if I dive too deep trying to hunt this kill, I'm probably gonna get killed by all his teammates. I don't need to kill him on this run. Just doing a lot of damage is still a big advantage for my team, especially if I can conserve my own health. So we don't want to be too greedy. Still refusing to shoot, but I do get a permanent fire on him. Now he finally opens up, and this is very, very interesting because now there's a good chance of killing him. He damage cons, which makes me turn back to the full broadside. Note that I was about to turn away, but he damage cons that single fire. So now I turn full broadside again and I use all my guns on him, even if I don't have reload booster. The reason for this is, with no damage gun, any fires we get on him are gonna force him smoke and gonna really, really mess with him, and just gonna make his life incredibly difficult. And that's when I turn all my guns back on him, you can see that the chance of getting a fire is actually quite high. And we manage to score a fire, he's forced to smoke up, he's forced to turn away, but this time my team has had time to react, and we can see a fair bit of shells pouring in towards this guy that we set on fire. His health ticks low, and basically he's just forced to run for his life. So this is a pretty big advantage early on. We got, what, 11.6k on the Z46. We didn't overcommit. We lost 0 health in the trade. We're perfectly full HP. So this is a really good situation to be in. We just got our team a significant advantage. And the Östergötland can easily scout for them. They can easily get a lot of things done on this flank. Z46 stopped burning, 12,000 damage in on him during that engage. So he's basically got no health left at all. So now the question is, what do we want to do? We can't really go straight in there and hunt the Z46. He's smoked up, he might be running Hydro, and there's an Udaloy there, there's an Ibuki, there's a lot of firepower there. We're just going to throw away a bunch of ships, so you don't want to be too greedy. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make in rank, that they get too greedy. Ibuki and Udaloy both spotted. Udaloy is shooting. I'm tempted to open up on him, but this Alsace is a bit worrying, because this Alsace is potentially threatening to push straight through the side here and get a crossfire on our team. So this has to be stopped in some way, this crossfire. My goal is to take a line like this, which I can do because the DDs are zoned out, so there's no threat of them, where I can potentially YOLO the Alsace, get torps around the corner, various ways of zoning him out and either killing him if he tries to push in, or just landing torps on him if he tries to sit on that flank. Z46 gets spotted again. I instantly call target on him. There's the Östergötland pushed up close enough to get vision of him. I call target while I shoot at him. I land some good damage. Azuma lands some good damage, and we pick up the first kill. So, very good start. Alsace also turns away, so he's no longer a threat on this flank either. I start taking some trades with the Udaloy, because he's really the last remaining DD on this flank, I think. The Udaloy is probably not here, he's probably with the Bismarck somewhere. So we're trying to get as much damage in on the most important targets, which is the DDs. At this point, I'm thinking, well, this is looking actually really good. If these guys are disengaging, there's actually some opportunities here. This Sovietsky Soyuz, if it tries to push in too steep, I might get some preemptive torps. Torp range is only 8 kilometers, but if you look at the minimap, a simple way of checking if can your torpedoes reach a target that's pushing in. That white line is the direction that he's sailing. My white line is the direction where I'm aiming the torpedoes. As long as these two sections intersect, these two lines, as long as they intersect within your torpedo range circle, your torpedoes can reach him. So even if he's 9.2 kilometers away, just by looking at the intersecting lines, I can tell that my torpedoes will easily reach him because they're intersecting within the circle of my torpedo range. So I drop torpedoes, trying to make sure I don't turn too much while I do so, because the torpedo bug is still very much an issue. I turn around, drop the other set as well, and I start angling in to see if maybe I can find some further opportunities to farm the Alsace, farm the Ibuki, basically just scout for my team, zone for my team, so that they are perfectly safe. Udaloy pops up. I'm really tempted to engage him, but I don't want to spook the Sovietsky Soyuz. He's, however, full... No, that was an important check there. I wanted to see, can I shoot the Udaloy without giving up the game to the Sovietsky Soyuz that I'm on this flank? But I quickly switched to the torpedoes, and I noted that the Sovietsky Soyuz is full stopping, which means my torpedoes are gonna miss no matter what, which means that there is no downside in opening fire. The Sovietsky Soyuz is already dodging the torpedoes. I wait until he's just about to go behind the island and I open up, but something very important happens. Torpedo signals show up on the map here. You see this? Torpedo warning from the right. And C is being contested. So this Yugomo hasn't actually gone through the flank, the Yugomo has gone through the center. Kind of suicidal, kind of risky as hell, but he's managed to do it, and he's gotten into this camp. So the first reaction upon seeing torpedoes, the first reaction that you want to see when you see this torpedo warning, always turn in towards them. Before you even see where they're coming from, start turning in towards them. You don't want to hesitate, and that's exactly what I do. You see my rudder is instantly switching to the right. I'm looking to see where the gap is. Now, it's important to note that I probably don't have enough speed to dodge these, but my speed boost is ready. So I activate the speed boost for that extra boost of acceleration, and thanks to that extra kick, basically it gives you a really fast boost of acceleration the second you activate it. And thanks to that really fast extra boost of acceleration while I'm turning hard right, I can kind of kick the stern of my ship around the torpedo, and the torpedo misses. So that's important to keep in mind. You can use it as an emergency dodging mechanic, but you need to be quick on using it when the torpedoes pop up. So, at this point, looking at the minimap, I'm thinking, well, we should be doing pretty okay. On this flank, that is. We have Pommern, Massachusetts, we have Östergötland, we have Azuma. The Sovietsky Soyuz is really the biggest threat on this flank, but in Östergötland, there's no way the enemy team can spot him. They don't have any tools to spot him, so he should be able to sit here and just drop torpedoes on the incoming push. He should be able to farm the Sovietsky Soyuz. Azuma should just be kiting away, spamming HE on him, and these two battleships, as long as they play chill, hell, the Pommern can potentially even just YOLO the Sovietsky Soyuz, because he's got island cover to use. So this flank should be super safe. Their forest is free, the Alsace is coming around, it's going to take a long time. So I need to go deal with this threat. I can't let the Yugomo hang around, come around in the flank, torp our team, go here, maybe chase these guys. No, I need to deal with the Yugomo, and I need to deal with the objective. So at this point I'm thinking, well, I have kind of won this flank for us. This is safe. We have cap control, their stealthy SDD on this flank is dead, and I know exactly where the Yugomo is. All I need is my team for not to do anything stupid, just sit there and farm them, and this is going to be a very, very easy win. However, my Sovietsky Soyuz is panic pinging for help on the right flank. And that's generally not a good sign, considering Sovietsky Soyuz plus Yugomo versus a lonely Bismarck should be the easiest fight in the world. Sovietsky Soyuz sits in the back and snipes or kites away while just farming him, and if the Bismarck tries to push, the torpedoes smash him. Bismarck secondaries does nothing to Sovietsky Soyuz armor and fast damage con, so we can't even burn him. So that should be an easy win, but somehow, in classic ranked fashion, my Sovietsky Soyuz actually gets himself killed by the Bismarck. So that's already a pretty significant problem when they're 2 versus 1, 2 tier 9 ships against a tier 8 ship, and they're struggling. So obviously I'm very much needed on this flank. I figured, well, they can't do too poorly on the other flank, they should be fine. The Yuguma opens up. I know exactly where he is. Now, it's tempting to open up at this point. Already open up. But then he knows exactly where I am. Potentially he can reset me on the camp as well. And this Yuguma from this range shouldn't be able to do too much to our Yuguma. Yuguma firepower and shell ballistics aren't really that good. So while I'm tempted to shoot, I'm actually more interested in just closing the distance in the straightest line I can and securing the objective. Meanwhile, I look back. I'm kind of surprised. The Pommern somehow managed to get himself killed. So the flank that I thought that I had already won for our team, well, that flank is suddenly having issues. And the right flank that I thought that they had a good advantage on, well, that flank is also having issues. The Yuguma at least kills the Bismarck, but he actually almost loses all his health in the process. And of course, he's not running a survivability expert, because apparently having extra health on your DD isn't very important for ranked players. I don't know why. So at this point, I ping him to get back. Okay, the idea here is that this Yuguma, when I ping him to get back, is that he's just going to slow down. Yuguma has all the guns at the back of the ship. So if the Yuguma angles and waits for this Yuguma to close in, or just in fact starts using his back gun to shoot him, this guy will struggle to trade. The reason why he'll struggle to trade is because if he wants to use all 3 of his guns on a ship that's sailing away, he's going to have to sail sideways, which is going to slow him down. Whereas the Yuguma can sail in straight lines while kiting away and farming him. This means that this Yuguma is stuck trying to hit a very small target that's trading with almost 66% of his firepower, while I'm about to open up on him and engage him from the side. So when I say come back or fall back, I'm hoping the Yuguma will understand to just basically keep kiting, angled, and farm this Yuguma. But it's ranked, of course, so instead the Yuguma, who has 6,000 health and has used his smoke and is up against an 18,000 health enemy Yuguma, decides to turn fully around and go nosing, rushing into the Yuguma. And at this point I realize, oh god, this is a disaster. I have to open up, and I instantly start farming him. I pop reload booster. I try to help out as much as I can, but of course with the Yuguma closing the distance this quickly, he gets himself killed basically instantly. So the Yuguma dies, but I do in fact manage to secure the objective. And the Massachusetts manages to trade on the other side. So the game is still somewhat okay. We are even 4 versus 4. I'm pretty confident in my ability to hunt down this Yuguma. I've set him on fire. It's a perma fire because I used this damage gun earlier. The problem, however, is looking on my team positions on the other side. The Östergötland is behind the Massachusetts. That's very much not the position you want him to be in. He should be here landing torps on this flank. My Massachusetts shouldn't be pushing in to begin with. He has no reason to do so, and he's pushing into 3 ships that are farming him. And my Azuma is too far away to land any sort of meaningful firepower because he's sitting way too far in the back. So this flank, I already know, is a disaster waiting to happen. So I need to hunt down this Yugama. I need to hunt it down fast. I'm keeping in mind of where the smoke is going. I'm already turning my guns. You saw that smoke puff started blooming on this side. You saw that this smoke puff booms on this side. This means the Yugama is doing some kind of maneuver towards this side. And I can't be wasting time going all the way around like this. I need to get up to this camp as soon as possible. So I already start turning my guns to the right side. Mogador Turtreverse is slow, so I'm preemptively turning my guns to the right side because my plan is to engage around this. I zoom in. Why do I zoom in? This is actually pretty important. What I zoomed in to look at was the smoke puffs. Where are the smoke puffs forming? And the smoke puffs show that this DD is going around this way. So I'm predicting that this guy is going around up here, around the island, and then he's going to turn left because he realizes he can't keep kiting this way. It's a waste of time. He needs to get back to his team. So he's going to try to go back towards his team this way. So I turn my guns preemptively where I predict he will go and try to cut him off before he can get there. Because, as I said at the start, I'm the fastest ship on the server. My prediction turns out to be really good. Yugama is exactly where I expect him to be. Note that he's still not shooting. This is a guy that shot me earlier. Priority target is showing 0. That means he's actually aiming his torpedoes on me. He's not shooting me. So I hit full stop to try to throw off his torpedo sets, making sure I pick up the kill. And as soon as I picked up the kill, I see his torpedoes I actually aimed right at me. He predicted my full stop. But I still have 8 seconds of speed boost remaining. So with the classic thing, as I said earlier, turn hard into the torpedoes. Full acceleration, turn hard into the torpedoes. And I once again managed to slip past his torpedo spread. At this point though, the other flank is having some serious issues. I've secured another DD kill for the team. Well, I only have one of the kills, but the Z46 earlier was basically thanks to the damage I did. The problem is, the Massachusetts that pushed in all alone into the enemy team has, unsurprisingly, gotten himself killed. And the Stayetland is now stuck alone, kind of defending the camp. This is fine though. At this point, the Stayetland, ideally, should look at the minimap, see, hey, we have a camp. I'm about to go secure the B camp. We're going to have a 2-cap advantage. All this team needs to do is kite towards their remaining objective, torpedoing and HE spamming on the way. But, once again, you got to remember, this is ranked. People don't do the smart thing. People don't do what you hope they would do. People don't do even what you might expect them to do. Instead, both the Östergötland and the Zuma, realizing that they are 2 versus 3 against ships that outgun them, decide that this is the time that they need to push in and rush them. So, this is a huge problem. I'm trying to ping them, get back, reverse, get back. I'm trying to make them understand. We still have a 100-point buffer thanks to the cap advantage I took early on. I'm going to have plenty of time to secure B. All they need to do is kite away and farm them, and this is a comfortable win for our team. Östergötland can just torp and kite, Azuma can just angle and kite. Like, they're going to struggle to get any meaningful damage in on both of this. However, Östergötland gets himself caught. By the looks of it, he looks on the minimap to be far too close to Dalsas, which means he's somehow managed to get himself spotted by a battleship that he's faster than. They double cap the objective, so they get it very fast. Still not a problem, but Östergötland got himself spotted, gets himself killed, and I give them the sarcastic well done, because I'm not very impressed by my team at this point. I am somewhat frustrated by their inability to basically do anything right on any part of the map. So, at this point, I'm hoping at least the Azuma will back off. I have to secure this objective. There's still 8 minutes 40 remaining on this battle. So I have to secure this objective and hope that my Azuma will start kiting away and disengaging. He still has plenty of time to do so, but looking at his position on the minimap, I am very, very worried. I am very worried, because he's heading right into them. Azuma doesn't even have torpedoes, unlike the Yoshino, and he's got plenty of health to play with, so there's no reason for him to be doing this. I'm pinging, please get back. Still perfectly winnable, still a cap advantage, still a point advantage. 2 versus 3, but I've overcome worse situations than this. But he's actually sailing around full broadside, and he gets another well done, because at this point I've come to the conclusion that if this game is going to be won, this will absolutely be a solo show. My team is not going to be helping me one bit with securing this game. Azuma keeps sailing around full broadside, and he's screwed up. At this point, what I'm looking at is not really what my Azuma is doing. I've already written him off. He's a dead ship. What's important is here is trying to get a vision of how much health do they have and where are they positioned. At this point, I'm really hoping the Udaloy will shoot, because getting vision of Udaloy's health pool will tell me a lot of what I need to do. My first impression is Ibuki has a lot of health. Alsace has a lot of health. Maybe the Udaloy has very little health, so I start turning my guns this way. The idea is, I know the Udaloy wants to push to C. Alsace is probably going to waste time killing this Azuma. Maybe I can cut off the Udaloy, pick him up as a kill, and give myself a potential opening as a win. Because when you're in a situation like this, you want to look for the 1 versus 1s. Udaloy gets spotted, I turn my guns, and the Udaloy has 11.5k health. 11.5k health is too much health for me to burst down with his team surrounding him. Even with reload booster, he has smoke, he has heal, he has ways to disengage. This is basically going to be very, very hard to overcome. So at this point I decided, well, there's no way I'm going to be able to fight the Udaloy. He's basically right next to Dalsas, and they're kind of grouped up together. So the next hope is Ibuki. Potentially, can I ambush Ibuki? That is my hopes. However, Ibuki is smart. I was hoping he'd push towards me, but Ibuki is actually starting to turn away. This means I don't get the opportunity to YOLO torpedo him. I don't get the opportunity to kill him with AP here, because he's just completely disengaging the second he realizes that he's being spotted. So, at least this gives me some... I'm pretty confident in what the enemy team is going to do. The Udaloy is going to go for C. That is his best choice. It's the closest cap, and it's a wave to victory for them. We're still generating points. We're actually down on points, but the 2 caps that I've secured is clawing our points back towards equilibrium. It's 800 to 830. The enemy team is still in the lead, but it's still so much time remaining. It's still 6 minutes remaining, and once they step on to C, my score timer that shows 220 is also going to be extended. I come around the corner, AP loaded. The hope is here, catching the Ibuki popping out here, so I can AP Citadel him with reload booster and pick him up as a quick kill. However, Udaloi or Ibuki is smarter than that. He's already angled away. So I shoot some AP, but I see the way he's angled, and there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to secure this kill. Now I'm also spotted, so his entire team knows exactly where I am. I switch to HE for some last final volleys, get a fire on him, but he's just straight up angling away, kiting away, disengaging, dropping torps. It's actually smart play because he doesn't really need to kill me because they're about to secure C. He's playing much smarter than any of my teammates have so far. So at this point I know Udaloi will be stepping onto C, guaranteed at this point. At least I have to gamble for it, because if I kite away now, it looks like a win for me in 1 minute 40, but if I kite away and Udaloi steps onto C, I'm going to struggle to push back into the cap, because both the Ibuki and the Alsace will be waiting for me at the cap. So it's not really an option. I have to commit to this objective. It's the only strategically sound option I have. So I push in, turning my guns preemptively, and Ibuki is still angled and still kiting away. I drop a preemptive set of torps, only one though. This torpedo set is actually pretty important. It is to prevent him from making a hard turn to the left. I assume he might be running hydro, or might be popping it soon, so he sees these torps, he doesn't want to turn to the left, because I want to push him out of the objective. If I can push this Ibuki out of the objective, it opens up another victory condition for me. And that victory condition is actually securing A by bullying him out of the objective. I break his torpedo tubes, always good. He's only using his back guns, but he's turning the rest of them. But those torpedoes will hopefully zone him out of the objective. So, the plane is keeping me spotted, but I've forced him out, and I am securing the objective. However, Alsace renders on the minimap, I instantly full stop, and I start reversing. The idea here is trying to accelerate juke that volley of HE. I do get reset, I do get hit, but he's so far away. As long as the planes don't spot me, I damage con the fire, because I haven't been shooting for a while, and I actually managed to get undetected. I drop preemptive sets of torps in case the Alsace turns in. Those were the left side torpedoes. Meanwhile, the Udaloi has gone down south, and he has secured C. Only, so they are clawing back the points, but because I'm stepping in A, we still have the points lead. So here I'm going for a pretty, actually, superbly risky plan. If I disengage, if I run away north, there's still a chance that the Ibuki might step onto the cap. And there's also a chance this Udaloi who's secured, he's probably already speed boosting towards B. So running away isn't actually a guaranteed win, even if I secure the objective, because the Ibuki can just go right back into the cap, and the Udaloi might make it into B to stop our points gain, because there's still 5 minutes remaining, which is a really, really long time. So at this point I go for what I see as really the only win condition. My right side torpedo tubes, one of them has reloaded, the other is about to reload in 20 seconds. The cap is also going to be secured in 13 seconds. The idea here is I'm going to YOLO this Alsace, because I finally have him in a position where he's committed to hunt me down. So he realizes a bit too late, oh shit, this guy is actually going for me. I turn in to dodge his volley, and I manage to secure the objective. Note that killing his battleship will give us 40 points. That's important. So by securing the 2 caps, I will need to score 960 points, then kill him to instantly end the game. Because if I don't instantly end the game, the Ibuki and Udaloi might finish me off. So the tactic is here that these points should generate just enough points that I can reach 960 by the time the torpedoes actually catch up to this Alsace. We're at 950. His back turrets smash me. I said, make sure I land these torps. I'm willing to risk surviving one more volley. Udaloi is shooting me. Ibuki has pushed up here. He's shooting me. 960 points are scored. I take some HE hits. I pop my damage con to make sure no fires can tick and actually kill me. And I turn in steeply to the right to dodge any incoming bullets. And with 243 health left. The torpedoes pick up the Alsace and turns this game into a win for our team, because we score out on 1,000 points. So that was a example of basically the versatility of the Mogador and how much thought often goes into a lot of the moves that you make to try to secure the win for your team. And ranked, sadly, is an experience of just having to deal with a lot of really questionable teammates. That's really what it is. Can you show the Mogador build? Sure, I can start up. I'll start up the EU client real fast so I can show it. Didn't you get accused of cheating in that replay? Yeah, after that replay, the Yugamo player that I gunned down called me a hacker because, well, I won the game for my team. But ultimately, there's no real... Everything I did was just it was just logical conclusions to the best way to win the game. That was basically every move that game was just repositioning and predictions based on the logical solutions. Does the French saturation help you there? Absolutely. But I mean, cheating accusations, I always consider them a like kind of a badge of honor or whatever. Let's see. I don't think it was actually this account I played Mogador on. I don't think it was actually this account I played. I think it was on the other account, but it's fun. I can still show. Let's see. Obviously, if you have Honor, you want to be running Honor. Equipment-wise, turret traverse, turret survival, speed boost duration. You saw how much value I got out of my speed boost. George's Itmas, thank you for the sub. Better dispersion. Note, if you run better dispersion on your guns, you have to run better turret traverse. Preferably, you have to run Honor with better turret traverse. Because the turrets on the ship are very slow, and you saw how many times I would preemptively turn my guns before I even engaged, and that's because you basically have cruiser turret traverse on these ships, and you need to prepare for it. Acceleration mod, very valuable. Well, multiple times, as you could see that last game. Concealment and faster reload on the main guns. Captain build-wise, ideally if you have a 21 points, I'll show the full 21 points, but I'll show the order of importance. Preventive maintenance, last stand, health, don't be the Yugamo, pick health, concealment. After this point, I build AR, especially with French saturation, super powerful. After which, you really want to be picking up Grease the Gears as soon as possible. It makes your life so much more comfortable, and you also want to get Fearless Brawler ASAP, because basically every time you're spotted, you get 10% better reload. So this just fits your build extremely well. If you have 21 points, let's see, what do I normally build as 21 points? I would assume priority target, and last point potentially into gun feeder. Thelmas, thank you for 35. Am I running gun feeder? I might be running gun feeder as the last one, but this roughly looks like my tryhard build. This looks like my tryhard build. I assume the last point goes into gun feeder. Alternatively, if you just have 19-point captain, then you spec into incoming fire alert. It's kind of like a not as good as priority target if you ask me, but it's always useful information to have. Same on Kleber, yeah, basically run the same on Kleber. Note that you can run the full gun builds where you skip concealment and go for firepower, range, and all this. But I think concealment gives you the ambush opportunity, and I just find it so useful because these ships are fantastic ambush ships, fantastic YOLO ships because of the torpedo angles. But yeah, that was an example of what I thought was a well played game, because I didn't feel like I made any significant mistakes, and it was mostly just trying to make up for vulnerabilities created by my teammates' actions. Basically, I played the left side, I played the right side, I went into their spawn, and then I was back on the cap again where I started, and but it did turn out to be a win. So now we can do Pyro. I don't really like Pyro. Even though the fire chance isn't that bad on fast-firing ships like this, Your base fire chance is actually quite high, so the actual benefit you get is very small. Also, you want to be shooting AP at broadsides, and when you're shooting HE, it's mostly against DDs or super. I don't think the fire chance is really that good. I think it's a wasted point. At what tier do French DDs get good? Tier 7 Macquilin is already quite good. I think I have a commentary on it. The tier 8 is very good already, and tier 9 is excellent, and Kleber is excellent.
Okay, folks. So let's look now. We're highlighting destroyers. Let's look now at the Howland Tier 10 destroyer and the world record. Yes, you heard me right. The Howland Tier 10 destroyer damage world record. So just watch, questions, comments, throw in chat. Let me know what you think, folks. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'd like to, before we go, love and peace to Ukraine and Russia. This nonsense has got to stop. You guys can work these things out in a different way. So love and peace to the people of Ukraine and Russia. And on to the video we go.
Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be featuring the Howland, the European Tier 10 destroyer, and probably the best torpedo boat in the game right now. Also, one of the few destroyers in the game that can actually effectively defend themselves against carriers. There are very few indeed, and this is a game with the CV. More importantly, this game has a pretty nasty division on the enemy team, a Småland and an Udaloi in division. That is of course a combination of two very fast destroyers, one with radar and one with just excellent long-range ballistics on the guns. So I have to play fairly carefully in the beginning, because if I run into them, I risk being radared and just farmed to death by both of them. Especially since Howland, unlike most destroyers, does not have access to smoke, and in terms of speed, it's not particularly fast either. So you have to respect the constraints that you're playing with. I launch preemptive torps. Usually ships want to sail behind the island in front of me, and Howland has such fast torpedoes, the fastest in the game, as well as having 15 kilometers of range. No, I do not run torpedo acceleration. I think you're giving up a huge advantage of the ship if you run torpedo acceleration. 15 kilometers of range is excellent, and it tends to give you a lot of unintended torpedo hits on ships that probably weren't expecting your torpedoes to hit them, or they weren't expecting them to reach the enemy so fast. I'm not pushing into the sea cap, because usually when the DD sits in the cap, if you don't have hydro or radar, well, you're not really accomplishing a whole lot there. You're just sitting there, and then the enemy sits there and you're basically neutralized. This is fine if you don't expect to have a big impact on a game, but generally my goal is always to try to carry a game to a win, and I think me as a resource, I feel very wasted. Especially as a DD who can go around, can flank, can spot, can give information to the team instead. The Småland is spotted on the other part of the map, so I know that the Udalo is probably there as well. So if I do get spotted, as I do now, I know it's in fact the Asashio. And I'm trying to get vision of him, and he's in fact playing far too aggressive, pushing directly into me. So I instantly engage. Howland's DPM is excellent. I angle away a bit because I'm afraid that the Montana will shoot me, which she does, but slowing down and angling away caused most of his shells to miss. The Asashio smokes up, and while we don't have access to radar, I saw exactly where he smoked up, and no one else is actually here to spot me, so I'm just gonna sit here and farm and farm and farm, scoring hits every now and then, scoring another fire there as well, and I will probably eventually grind him down or force him out of the smoke. My fire burns down the Asashio, and I actually land a torpedo hit on the Georgia, which was my initial torpedo target. And here's a good example of having that extra range. You see that Des Moines heading down towards B. Well, he probably isn't expecting these torpedoes to quite reach that far or to show up that quickly, so he actually ends up eating one torpedo as well. That's a good example of why I think torpedo acceleration is wasted, because it doesn't really reduce the reaction time that much, and more importantly, the additional range is very effective against radar ships. My Mogami sadly gets himself killed behind the island, so they trade back one kill. They do have a Montana here on the flank, and he is all alone. By killing the DD, I basically have free reign to try to push up on this Montana and try to get some sort of pressure in. He's playing with his speed, so I don't really want to give up the game and let him know that I'm actually targeting him. If I launch torpedoes while he's playing with his speed, it's very hard to predict what he's going to do. I expect him to be leaving the flank, either by reversing, which I think he was planning to, but then he changed his mind and now it looks like he's accelerating. So I predict he's going to accelerate and just turn fully away, because he realizes that alone on a flank against a torpedo boat like the Howland, he has nothing to do. I predict the full turn and I preemptively launch my torpedoes where I see his ship turning. And he's doing exactly what I predicted. And that's generally smart, but you don't want to, basically if you're in this battleship's position, you don't want to signal your intentions this clearly. For an experienced player like me, this was blindingly obvious, and my torpedo prediction is almost as perfect as a torpedo prediction can be. And even these Holland torpedoes, even though they don't do a lot of damage, landing 9 out of 10 of them is a huge chunk of damage. And especially since I am running Jersey, which is by far the best captain for the Holland or for the European DD line in general, this also gives me faster torpedo reload thanks to the 8 torpedoes proccing the special ability of the captain. The DD is capping C, so there's no point in me for going back into C. He should be getting that cap absolutely for free. And in killing the Asashio, the enemy doesn't really have any torpedo power left. Udaloy and Småland are both good gunboats, very good against DDs, but honestly not that strong against battleships. So as long as my team just plays it cool and doesn't do any panicky moves, we should have no issues basically collapsing this flank and slowly turning this game into our favor. I keep chasing the Montana, not just because I want to get my torps off on him, but I have a Smolensk behind me behind the island, and I'm keeping him spotted for the Smolensk. That guy just ate a bunch of torpedoes and used his damage con, which means he's especially vulnerable to all sorts of HE spam. Also, getting rid of a tier 10 battleship on the flank means that my Izumo, well, he's already going a bit too far on the side, but he can reposition more towards the center. He does have a fire on him, and the Smolensk is still farming him. I'm tempted to shoot him to finish him off, but on the other hand, I don't really want to give up the game. I don't want them to know where I am. Torpedoes don't really show up on the minimap, but if you shoot and you get spotted on a minimap, well, everyone who has any sort of sense will realize where you are, and then the carrier will probably send planes my way, and Des Moines might push into radar me. Basically, even the Småland might start hunting me. So it would limit my tactical ability a lot to give up my position just to get the kill on the Montana. Although in hindsight, getting that kill on Montana might have given me a pretty impressive final score. But that's hindsight talking. Des Moines is pushing towards the center. I don't want to get too close to him. I'm not sure if he's actually radaring. I think there's a high chance he might be running radar right now, so I'm keeping a respective distance. Heavy American cruisers have a 10-kilometer radar distance, so staying outside of that 10-kilometer gap is important if you suspect they might be radaring. The reason I think he's radaring is because, well, they were just fighting my DD. My Z46 pushed into Des Moines, Småland and Udaloy, not the best choice, and there's also a Smolensk there, so I think there's a high chance of radar. I'm trying to ping my Izumo to try him to basically get into a better position. The Izumo is the classic case that I've been trying to argue against in my battleship commentaries, and that is the importance of central positioning. The Izumo is so far away from everything relevant that it will take him multiple minutes to get anywhere close to a position where he can actually effectively use his guns. He has basically zoned himself out of all the action, and considering we've already lost a third of our team, a battleship on this flank being completely useless is an issue. I land torpedoes on the Des Moines, which is good, because that means his damage con will be down, and with a carrier in the game and potentially a Smolensk also farming him, the lack of damage con should hurt him. The Lexington is where I predicted he would be. Carriers have this tendency to never move during the first couple of minutes. Sometimes they never move all game. They're the only class that can get away with it. And obviously this was something I was hoping to potentially punish, because Lexington's information gain is very powerful against our team right now, especially very powerful against me. So a Lexington playing this passive and basically just focusing on striking is a prime target for me. I close the distance, of course. There's an Iowa pushing this way. I want to potentially catch the Iowa off guard, and I do want to make sure that if the Lexington survives the torpedoes, which is probable, because once again Holland torpedoes don't deal that much damage, I want to be able to gun him down if he tries to run for it. The Des Moines does actually go down to the Smolensk, so that part is working as planned. Hopefully my Izumo will rejoin the battle and my carrier will provide some vision. The problem is though that my team is kind of pushing in. Ideally my team would have recognized the advantage we had on this flank and the way we were collapsing this flank, and they would have played safe, but in fact my Iowa and my Musashi have both pushed in on the 8th side, and they pushed into a numerically superior enemy for no real reason, and they've all gotten themselves killed. So this flank is just costing me a lot of map control and a lot of time, because I didn't expect them to do that. I don't want to shoot the Lexington yet, because I want to see what the Iowa does. Can I get some juicy torpedoes off on him? But the Lexington instantly sends rocket planes my way, so I decide to finish him off with my guns. I activate the SMAA, set the sector as well, making sure that the planes die ASAP so he can't keep me spotted. The AP kills off the Lexington very, very quickly, and I try to get in some torpedoes to get a kill on the Iowa as fast as possible. However, I see the Udalo in the minimap is actually pushing this way, and the Iowa is going behind the island, so I'm trying to get a 1 versus 1 against the Udalo, and I actually managed to position myself in such a way. You see how the Iowa is behind the island, and the small land is basically too far away, so even though I'm in the middle of kind of 4 enemy ships, I'm only fighting one of them effectively at a time, and that's exactly what I want, and that allows me to take down the Udaloy, who was a bit too eager. People tend to underestimate Holland's gun power. It's actually quite an efficient gunboat. So I take down the carrier and half of the enemy destroyer division. So this gives us a significant amount of points, and of course having the enemy Iowa and Smoland waste time in their spawn now, as well as killing their carrier, should give us a significant spotting advantage. However, looking at the minimap, I can see that my Montana, if you look on H2, my Montana is charging into a Yamato, Georgia, Albemarle and Brindisi. So for some reason my team is incredibly keen on rushing the enemy on the enemy's strongest flank. This will mean that this is going to be a very hard game indeed. I pop torpedoes on the Iowa. I think he's going to turn in and fight my Izumo, because if he keeps going straight like this, he's going to give a lot of broadside to him. And then we're going to close in on the Smoland. I have a Smolensk pushing down from the south, but more importantly, the Smoland only has 11k health. Well, he started healing, but my health advantage is still significant. As always, when you're fighting enemy gunboats, you want to be kiting away from enemy gunboats. So note that as soon as this engagement is about to start, I'm going to start angling away. My torpedoes are very, very good on the Iowa, and I actually get kind of fortunate getting a detonation on him, which gives me 3 achievements at once. I catch Smoland as well, and I instantly start kiting away. If you look at the minimap, you can see the angle at which I'm sailing. I'm sailing as sharply away from the Smoland as I can, while still keeping both of my turrets on him. So even though the Smoland is technically a superior gunboat, I'm using the kiting to my advantage, and I managed to take him down as well, which gives me the Kraken. However, that A flank, well, they have kept pushing in, and they have all managed to die. So even though I have 5 kills with more than 7 minutes remaining, and a fair chunk of damage as well, this is a large uphill battle. The enemy team has been saying a lot of stuff in game. Maybe some of my Russian-speaking viewers can translate some of the stuff, but the Sasho I killed, I think he called me a cheater or something, and I think the Lexington wanted me banned because I torpedoed him. Basically, a lot of interesting in-game conversations going on. I'm sure one of my viewers is going to provide a translation of that. I'm going to try to push into the cap. I'm a bit worried about the Georgia spotting me, but there is a smoke left over from my Smolensk. So I'm thinking that maybe I can just push into the smoke and use the smoke as cover to turn around in case the Georgia is still waiting around the corner. I launch preemptive torpedoes on the Brindisi because I think he's going to angle out. He's not going to keep going straight, he's going to turn out a bit is my prediction. I angle away though, in case he rushes me, I want to be able to disengage, but it turns out the Brindisi is doing exactly as I predicted. He is turning out a bit wary about pushing straight into a cap, as they usually are, and that's actually going to cost him. 2 torpedoes on the Brindisi gives me my 6th kill and another tick of that torpedo reload, giving me even faster torpedo reload. My Izumo, who has been out of position basically the entire game by going too far away on the flank, well, we're down to a 3 versus 4. This is, however, still winnable because, well, we have me, a Holland, a torpedo boat, and we have a carrier. So if the Izumo just plays it safe, he's kind of been playing it safe all this game, playing very, very far back. So if he just maintains that playstyle and doesn't play too aggressively and allows me to just torpedo these guys, this can absolutely still be a win. I launched some preemptive torps on the Georgia, because the Georgia is charging in there to help his friendly Georgia mate. But all my Izumo needs to do right now is just slow down and kill the Georgia in front of him. If the Izumo slows down and just takes a fair 1 versus 1, well, he's got a huge health advantage. Georgia has 18k, Izumo was full HP with 80k. This should be an easy 3 versus 3 that I can then snowball into an even bigger advantage. However, the problem with World of Warships is that your teammates rarely do what you hope that they would. And my Izumo has decided, well, he's been sitting back too long. Now he's going to absolutely charge in. I call target on the Albemarle, hoping my carrier can finish him off, but that's also going to be a bit of an issue where my carrier is basically struggling to kill that 2k health cruiser for almost the entire game. I pinged the Izumo to get back multiple times. Please get back. The Georgia only has 5,000 health. If he pushes in there, he risks being crossfired by both of them, or basically just killed off without getting either of the kill. So I'm just telling him to slow down, take it easy, give me some time. Basically let me use my advantage. I have a lot of torpedo power right now, let me use it to help the team. I can't push any further. Georgia, 6k concealment, and with the Georgia, 2 Georgias in front of me, all that secondary firepower could be a huge threat. One of the Georgias sails around the corner, so I instantly open up on this Georgia, trying to finish him off as quickly as possible. At this point I'm hoping that, well, if the Izumo absolutely has to go in, at least he will get the ram on the other Georgia. Like, if he's actually committed, he doesn't want to let me help at all, maybe he will at least get the ram, but you probably saw that volley right there. The Izumo is shooting the angled Georgia, and of course by shooting, the Georgia can just sail right by the Izumo and absolutely blap his broadside. I see the Yamato on the minimap is actually pushing north as well, so I'm about to get boxed in. And my Izumo, who was just full HP, has managed to kill himself in only a few minutes. This means, well, I'm about to get boxed in from both sides, and we only have 3 minutes remaining. So I decide it's time to do a daring move, and I hope the Georgia has turned in sharply enough that I can catch him. I hope his speed boost is still active and he's basically right around the corner. Sadly, he is still 4 kilometers away, and his speed boost has, I think, ran out. I'm not sure, it might still be active, but maybe he just slowed down. I'm tempted to launch both sets of torpedoes, but if the Georgia had turned in and I only landed 1, then that would have been a disaster, because I need to land multiple torps to kill him. I popped my last heal, and I tried to close in, tried to get the kill on this guy. I line up the torpedoes. As you saw, 4 torpedoes was not enough. I know I need to land a total of 6 torpedoes because his nose is so saturated. I land 3 and kill him. However, he gets his back turret in on me and manages to kill me off. So, and meanwhile, my Zeppelin is still trying to kill this Albemarle that has 2000 health. Here's a small spoiler. I think he eventually actually succeeds, but he has no chance of killing the Yamato. So this game, despite my best efforts, amusingly ends in a defeat. A devastating strike, Confederate, First Blood, Kraken and High Caliber. 328,000 damage, and as far as my viewers could tell, this is the global world record damage for the Holland. The closest anyone got on C and Russia were less than 300k, and on EU someone had managed to get 319k. If someone proves me wrong, that's very possible, but as far as we can tell right now, this is the Holland world record damage. 8 kills, 13 planes shot down, 34 torpedo hits, and 1 objective capture, and of course 12 floods and 3 fires. 8 kills, but not enough to win the game. The team score, well, it does tell a fairly brutal story. 2,200 base XP on the losing team. Of course, with the 50% modifier, this would have been at least a 3.3k base XP game. Had I killed the Montana, actually had I just gotten some time to work, this might have even been a 3.6, 3.7k, 400,000 damage game, but well, you don't always get what you want. That's just the way it works. In hindsight, I wish I would have launched all my torps on the Izuma, or sorry, on the Georgia, but obviously I couldn't know if he was going to turn in or not. Had I launched all my torps and he would have turned in and just eaten 3 or 4 on the nose and then just rushed me down and killed me, I would have looked like a complete fool, so it was do or die. Had to take a risk, and the risk really didn't pay off. Detailed report wise, well, the majority of the damage is of course torpedoes, 273,000, a bit of HE, a bit of AP. I did get 12 floodings, but not really too much damage out of them. I did an additional almost 50,000 spotting by hunting down the Montana on that flank, making sure he couldn't run away after my torpedo salvo, and I did tank about 33,000 damage. This game, even though it shows that some teams are just very, very hard to carry, this game does showcase all the strengths of the Holland, which is an excellent torpedo boat thanks to the ridiculously narrow spreads and the incredibly fast torpedoes, and also an excellent gunboat, taking out the Sashio, the Udaloy and the Småland. Basically, I took down all 3 of their destroyers, I took down their carrier, and then even torpedoed a fair few cruisers and battleships. But some games, man, you just can't win. Let me show you guys my recommended build for this ship. Right, as usual, let me start with the modules. Not really much to talk about. You can't change any of the consumables, which in a way I guess is a good thing, because there is no bad build here. Upgrade wise, you do want to run the turret and torpedo survival, especially important on the Holland since you only have 2 turrets and losing one of them means losing half your DPS. Engine boost mod 1 for increased engine duration. If you don't have this, I would say just run the engine room protection. The defensive AA duration modifier is honestly fairly useless because either you kill the planes during the defensive AA or they just leave it. There's rarely any in between. Rarely have I been in a situation where I wished, oh man, if only I had more action time. The reduced reload can be useful, so I'm not saying this is necessarily a bad choice, but I would probably run engine room protection instead. Third upgrade, torpedo tubes mod 1, absolutely. This bumps your torpedoes up to a pretty damn impressive, I think 90.3 knots, and of course it does reduce the chance of those tubes being broken. Fourth upgrade, propulsion mod. Your acceleration is, your rudder shift is actually very, very good, and your turning circle is nice. So the acceleration helps you when, well, you do situations like against the Småland, basically stopping, waiting for him to catch up, and then kiting away. Better concealment, and finally torpedo tubes mod 2, because we are building this fully for torpedoes. Captain wise, Jerzy Swirsky, is by far the best captain for the Holland. You get his improved adrenaline rush, you get his improved AA, and you do get that torpedo reload expert, which cuts down that reload time on those torpedoes by 5% for every 8 torpedoes landed. Basically, he synergizes extremely well with the Holland. Build-wise, priority target, followed by last stand, followed by survivability expert, followed by concealment expert. You always build for survivability first in a destroyer, because staying alive is what allows you to deal damage. After that, I would build torpedo armament. This is a flat out 10% buff. After that, you can build adrenaline rush and the last 4 points into RPF, because it just gives you so much useful information of what the enemy is doing, from where they're coming, and so forth. I have seen some builds that instead run BFT and preventive maintenance. I'm not going to say it's a bad build, because once again, the gunpowder on this ship is quite good, but personally I find RPF to be far more useful, especially in situations where you're facing ships like Småland and you don't know where they are. So and with the upcoming Russian cruisers that are able to stealth radar, I will highly recommend RPF. This thing is just gonna rise in value the more stealth radar is added to the game. Flag wise, I do recommend running at least the flooding chance, fire chance flags, detonation, speed, and healing. And the AA flag is actually quite useful because, as mentioned, the Holland is one of the few destroyers that tends to have a very good anti-air. That was my Holland commentary. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys had a good time, and as always, I will talk to you guys next time. Today I will be featuring the Benham. Now, I've been traveling quite a bit the last couple of weeks. I've been in Japan for a couple of weeks. I've been to Prague to cast King of the Sea finals. And honestly, YouTube hasn't really been on my mind at all, except when I had this game. Ever since I had this game, my chat has basically been pestering me about making a commentary about this game pretty much every single day. So I guess we don't have much of a choice here. We really need to cover this. And honestly, I do want to cover it myself as well, because this is such a good statement of everything I've said about the Benham. It's just that I've been extremely lazy. Not uncommon when it comes to YouTube and me, because, well, I've been focusing a lot on the streaming as of these days. Anyway, the USS Benham, a ship I consider to be a horrendous addition to the game. I was very vocal about this ship not being added the way it is. Wargaming, as they sometimes tend to do, they ignored this feedback and they decided now this ship should be added as it is. I strongly disagree, because I think in the hands of a competent DD player, the Benham is probably one of the most toxic things to deal with, especially if you're trying to push up a flank. And obviously, if you're playing a Benham, where you want to go is where the enemy team is pushing. Matchmaking, tier 9, not tier 10, so actually no, never mind, it's tier 10. What am I talking about? I see a small and gonna minimum. Yeah, it's classic tier 10 matchmaking. I'm pushing up the flank. I don't really want to rush in the cap yet, because I see my Udaloy is going for it, so there's no need for me. In fact, I'm just trying to give him some backup by torping and spotting for the guys behind. My Udaloy appears to be getting in there for free. Worth noting also is there's a Buffalo pushing up the middle, which is a bigger threat, so at this point my Udaloy should honestly just disengage. It's clear they are pushing hard on this flank, whereas on the other side of the map almost nothing has been spotted. So playing safe on this flank is probably the smarter choice, especially if that radar cruiser gets free realm into that objective. So what exactly is the USS Benham? The Benham is a tier 9 premium torpedo boat, US torpedo boat, with absolutely ridiculous stats. And well, let's get into that in a bit. Let's talk about the non-ridiculous stats first. The health on it is actually the lowest among tier 9 DDs at 14.5 base. I'm of course running the survivability expert, which you should run on DDs because you're not an idiot. Okay, that was a bit too harsh. There are some builds, for example my gunboat Taraguma, where I don't run survivability expert, but in general on the very low, very squishy torpedo boats, survivability expert is such a massive tool that there's no reason not to really use it. So it bumps up our health to 17.7. As you saw, the gun power isn't it exactly going to win any prizes. The guns are pretty damn garbage. I think it has something like 130-ish DPM, whereas the Fletcher, just because it has one more gun, has like 160-ish. And then there are of course the real gunboats that just straight up outgun it, because the gun ballistics are far better. It's one of the reasons why the ship wasn't really that good in ranked, because there was a whole lot of Hydra DDs and a whole lot of gunboats and so forth, and the Benham doesn't really gunboat that well. Not to mention people didn't really play it correctly, but that's another thing. Regardless though, very squishy. Low health, 14.5, Yugum has 15.5. Bad gun DPM, or just underwhelming. Even the Russian gunboats that have great ballistics and super long range actually deal more damage than you. Usually in US DDs, if you fight Russian gunboats, the way you do it is, at long range the Russian gunboat wins, at closer range the American is usually very competitive and can beat them. That doesn't apply to the Benham at all. It loses at all ranges, it just loses harder at long range. Well, regardless, that's not why we're here. Why we're here is what you're seeing right now. This absolutely ridiculous non-stop torpedo spread being thrown at this Musashi. I overextend, play a bit too aggressive, but I do want to get some torpedoes in. I do want to get something done because my Bismarck is playing very safe, my Amagi is running away, and more importantly, that threat I spoke of earlier of the Buffalo, well, it has materialized. The Buffalo pushed into the camp, the Udala is dead, and now he didn't run his radar earlier, so now he's using his radar to push me across the camp. So this flank is obviously collapsing hard. My team is winning the other flank, but this flank is collapsing. That's okay. This is actually where you want to be. Why do you want to be here? Well, because the Benham is a complete and utter torpedo boat in every possible way. The torps are only 1 knot slower than Fletcher torps. They hit for less. Fletcher torps hit for like what, 19k-ish? These torps hit for about 15k. But the incredible reload more than makes up for that. I mean, if you look at the Fletcher, it's a pretty solid all-round DD. It's got a solid torpedo DPM of 108,000 damage. Benham has a torpedo DPM of 172. Just to put that in some more perspective, the 12 km Shimakaze. The Shimakaze, everyone can agree, is absolutely the torpedo boat. That is the torpedo boat of tier 10. It has 140k torpedo DPM. Benham has 172. Even worse is when you start considering that the Shimakaze has 1.7 km torp visibility with 15 tubes, and it's got the 9.4 second reaction time. Reaction time is from, if you're sailing in a straight line, from when you see the torpedoes show up on your side, how much reaction time do you have to turn away and dodge these torpedoes? Well, with the Shimakaze you have 9.4. With the Benham you have 8, because the torpedo visibility is 1.4 instead of 1.7, because they're American torps. They're much stealthier. And although you don't have the alpha damage of the Shimakaze, once again, your torpedo DPM is, well, 32k higher than the Shimas, and you're throwing out these stealthy torpedoes all the time. As you can see, this is basically, I've maneuvered myself into the absolutely optimal position right here. And why is this the optimal position? Because first of all, this is where the enemy push is happening. This is where you want to be in a Shimakaze, in a Benham, in any torpedo boat really. The enemy team is pushing towards you. They do have radar ships, sure, they have the Buffalo and so forth, and they do have a DD mixed in there as well, but because they push towards you, they have less reaction time when the torpedoes arrive, because they're already traveling towards it. And second of all, you have extended range, because you don't need to be as close. To reach the guys that are 11 kilometers away, you can be exactly where we're right now, because they're sailing towards your torpedoes. So it enhances your hit ratio, it enhances your range. Basically, being in front of the enemy push is the best thing ever. And you can just, another thing that is very important is on the Benham, you have to continually switch sides, because you get 2 torpedo launchers on each side. So I'm able to weave, basically kite away and constantly weave back and forth, and use these both torpedo tubes on both sides all the time. So this is the optimal situation. Another thing is that I maneuvered myself up towards the corner. Now, at first things, there are risks with going up in the corner. For example, if they try to box you in, they try to hunt you down, they try to get you killed. The Venom is pretty fast though, and I don't really foresee it being that big of an issue. But if they do, that's honestly a big advantage for me. I torped the DD, by the way. For some reason, people don't do this often enough. I saw the DD sailing, I know where he's going, he wants to sail towards the objective, so I dropped a set of torps on him. I actually managed to land one. And here is where something a bit peculiar happens. The Musashi, for some reason, gets so frustrated with, I guess, my non-stop torpedoing or whatever, that he helps me out in a pretty unexpected way. Now, after landing the torpedo on the Fletcher, I could have killed him in 2 volleys, because I only had 2.5k. It was an easy gunfight to win, but it would still have cost me health, because everyone else would have piled in shots on me. So, the Musashi helping me out, I'm very grateful. Thank you, dude. Still though, this is the situation you want to be in. And another thing worth mentioning is, you want to know what your enemy team is doing. In this case, what my enemy team is doing, or planning to do, is very, very obvious. They want to get into that B objective. They really, really want to get into that B objective. That is their goal. And the best way to harass them is to put myself on the broadside. I said being on the in front of the enemy ships is good, but being in front and on the broadside is even better, because this is how you get those juicy multiple hit torpedoes when they're sailing broadside to you, and they basically, well, they end up eating multiple torpedoes instead of 1 or 2 on the nose. So this is the absolute best, and even better is I'm buying my team time. We're actually behind on points. We're behind on ships. We are in a losing position. So I'm not even looking at the damage. I'm not thinking of the damage here. I'm thinking of how the hell do I stop this incredible battleship push that's coming through? How do I weaken it? How do I slow it down? How do I buy my team some time to actually get into position? Because they're all over the map. Like, if you look at the minimap, my Amag is in the center, my Frida Groza Izumo is north, my Alaska Yugoma are on an adventure somewhere in the south. They are all over the map. So I'm literally just buying time, trying to slow down this enemy push and trying to win this game. The damage isn't even on my mind right now. The most important thing is, how do we stop this push and how do we turn this game into a win, because this team is so far behind. Worth mentioning on the damage is though that Widget broke 200k and we're only halfway through the game. There comes the Buffalo radar as expected, but note that I'm constantly sitting at that 10 km range of this Buffalo. And that is because I want to know when his radar is active. Because when his radar is on cooldown, I know I can play aggressive. I know I can play more aggressive because I know there's no risk of it. On the other hand, by sitting at this range, when he pops radar and turns to shoot, well, he only really gets 1 volley off. The battleships with their slow turret traverse, they struggle to even get any damage off. So it gives me information or his movement or what his consumable cooldowns is, while at the same time allowing me to basically play at the edge of danger. And that's really where you want to be. Now, these battleships, as expected, they're really frustrated with these torpedoes. They turned up north, trying to deal with it, trying to somehow mitigate this Benham damage. But this is why I hate the Benham. Or I think the Benham was such a poor addition. It's kind of like the Asashio. Because even if you know there's a DD there, even if you know that he's torping you, there is so very little you can do about it. For example, if Shimakaze torps you, well, you kind of have some idea because there's a lot of torpedo spotting, and if you dodge that 1 volley, you know you basically got a long cooldown, like you got 1.5 minutes before the next torpedo volley lands. So you got a lot of time to work with. With the Benham, well, look at my torpedo cooldown. We're talking a minute. We're talking a minute. If I'd taken more damage, it would be even lower. We're talking every minute I'm launching this set of 8 torpedoes. And these torps are fast, they're stealthy, and they hit pretty damn hard, and I cause a lot of floodings, as you can see. 18 hits, 12 floodings. So this is, I'm launching a set of torps basically every battleship reload. It's 30 seconds. That's basically where I'm launching torps all the time. So even when they know I'm here, even when they know I'm torping, they still end up eating them, because every 30 seconds there's a new set coming. It doesn't matter how much you maneuver, I need to get lucky a couple of times and I will be landing torpedoes. And that's just kind of like the Asashio, where if you know the Asashio is there, you know who's torping, you still don't really have much of a chance of dodging the torpedoes if he gets lucky. And usually with the torpedo reload booster on the Asashio, you can basically make yourself lucky just by making him dodge and then, well, throw enough torps and eventually we'll land some. And that's basically, that's the concept we're adapting here. The game is still pretty close, We got a ship lead now because of all the damage I dealt here, approaching 300k. And now I'm starting to focus on how to get rid of this Buffalo, because he is a threat. I'm predicting he's going to slow down and turn in. The Vanguard looks like he's also about to eat our torpedoes here. Of course, I'm locking onto the targets, by the way. The reason you might not see the lock on is because it's replay bug. It happens very often in replays. It doesn't register the lock on. But this 320k, 321. I got floodings. I did mention that. You're constantly stacking on floodings as well. Normally floodings aren't that big if someone doesn't follow it up with fires, but on the Benham, floodings are a huge threat because, well, every 30 seconds there's another set of torpedoes coming out. Buffalo slows down to turn in as I expected, and he ends up eating one of my torpedoes. So that's someone I can actually maybe go gun down now, because I do want to win this game. And more importantly, I do want to get rid of him. He pops radar, so I'm spotted anyway. There's literally no downsides here. I'm spotted anyway, so I might as well start gunning him down and see if I can secure this kill. I did mention Benham DPM being one of the weaknesses, but against the Buffalo that has no health and has no damage con, we could probably have taken him down. Unfortunately, the carrier finishes the job for us. Still, you mentioned dot damage. I got the Witherer achievement, which is for 60k flooding. Vanguard goes down to the torpedoes, and in basically, what? It's not even 50 minutes into the game yet. This entire push up this flank, their entire force, their entire fleet trying to push through this flank was completely crushed by my Benham. And I never felt like I was in any serious danger here either. Like, I still got, what, 12k health out of my 17k? I'm very healthy. I'm fine. In fact, I could have taken more damage to get more adrenaline rush, so I have a better reload and can do more damage. Like, this game never even felt close to me. Never even felt dangerous. I did what the Benham does best. Kite away, turn sides, and torpedo. Non-stop torpedo. Worth noting is that on Benham, you smoke up to shoot and farm a lot less than in any other ships. In something like a Daring, if you land a torpedo, you smoke up, you spam a lot of HE to get some fires and extra damage in, and then you keep kiting away when then you throw the next torp reload and so forth. Like, you play around with your guns. Even the Shimakaze you think can tend to smoke up and start fires. You don't do that in a Benham. For the simple reason is, it's literally a waste of time because your next torpedo volley is just about to come up again. That's what happens. Your torpedo volleys always pop up. So you don't even want to be wasting time on smoking up for gunfire because it's a torpedo machine gun? I don't know what the hell to call this thing. I've said it before. I don't like the ship. I think it's broken. And is there any better statement than showing just how broken it is by absolutely shattering the world record in it? Apparently the world record in the Benham is something like 340k, I think. I think EU had 346, Russia had 341, and then NA had something, I can't remember how it went, but this is 20k higher than any record that even comes close. This is a ridiculous amount of damage, and this was all done in a little torpedo boy, just wiggling back and forth and spamming the torps. If that's not a statement for just how dumb this ship is, I don't know what the hell is. Like, I can't make a better argument than the one I just made. I can't make a better argument than this. I don't like the Benham, but sadly it's too late. And in the grand scheme of things, Benham isn't nearly as bad as the ships they've been adding lately, like the Smolensk, or just carriers in general. Like, of all the things, this ship doesn't even come close. Basically, one carrier could have completely, if the carrier had been focusing me, it would have completely neutralized pretty much everything I did. So once again, it seems super overpowered, but then you look at it on the grand scale of things and you take in things like carriers and you realize, there's always something worse. Team score, only 2.8k base. Well, why so little base XP? Well, once again, we did a ton of battleship damage. It doesn't really reward you that much because, well, and once again, it's percentage based. So even though I did a shit ton of damage, ultimately it was only the health pools of maybe 4 or 5 ships. Maybe a bit more, but still, it doesn't add up as much. Detailed report. Here's the good, you know, the old saying of throwing enough at the wall to see what sticks. Well, that's basically what you do in the Benham. Torpedoes launched 188. 188 torpedoes launched in a single game. 25 landed, and once again, the flooding damage, another 91,000 flooding. And that's because you throw them out so rapidly. It's not that every single battleship was a potato who didn't understand the damage con. Sometimes they might have been saving the damage con, but most of the time they would go for it. The problem is, the torpedoes hit you, you hit the flooding, you damage con, and the damage con runs out. Remember, damage con lasts about 15-20 seconds, depending on the battleship. Damage con runs out, and finally goes on cooldown. And literally 10 seconds later, because it's a 30-second gap between each torpedo set, literally 10 seconds after your damage con runs out, the next set of torps already hit you. So either you either you hit the full flooding, so you can damage con the next set, or you damage con instantly, but then you get a perma flooding next set anyway. Like, there is no winning. That's what it comes down to. You can't really smack the battleships because there is no winning, and they don't have the rudder shift to dodge these torpedoes either, because as I mentioned, they have USDD detectability, which means 8-second reaction time for battleship. 8-second reaction time is literally the time it takes you to throw the rudder to the side. And for most, that's not even enough to throw the rudder to the side. Like they don't even get enough out of it. So you will pretty much always hit torps, and battleships are extremely helpless against this. Blap the Vanguard, blap the Turpets, blap the two Massages, blap the Fletcher. Thanks for the help, thanks for the assist there, by the way, enemy team. Overall, just a brutal ship, and not my idea of a fun ship to fight against, but hey, what do I know about the game? I've only been playing it ever since it was launched. Anyway, let me show you guys my recommended build for the ship. Right. As usual, we will start from the modules. Not much to say about the upgrade modules here, basically, because it's a premium. You start with it already maxed out. Consumable wise, you should be running premium consumables. If you really want to save somewhere, save on the speed boost, for example, but having the smoke on cooldown is quite important, especially if they're actively trying to hunt you down, which good players will do. They will actively try to hunt you down because, well, you're a huge damn threat. Upgrade wise, torpedo and gun turret survivability, more speed boost duration, because once again, not being hunted down is a pretty damn high priority for you. AA, not because it's good, but because the other upgrades are pretty much trash. Faster acceleration, because your rudder shift is actually already really good at 3.4, so you don't need it, and your turning circle is pretty great as well. So honestly, just being quicker on the ball is what you want. Concealment, obvious. Torpedo reload, once again, very obvious. This is a torpedo boat. That's what it does. Build wise, first order, priority target, follow it up with last stand, follow it up with survivability expert, follow it up with concealment expert. You always start with going the things that keep you alive. Especially if you're a new player to whatever ship you're playing. This basic line, this is all survivability. And all of this helps you stay alive and learn your class, learn your ship, learn what the hell you're doing. And then when you got a basic grasp of, hey, what the hell am I doing? That's when you start building into actual damage numbers. And then you start by going to 10% reload from torpedo armament expertise. Then you build into AR, so whenever you take damage, you deal more damage. And then finally you build into RPF. The last 4 points into RPF. This is great for when people are trying to ambush you, people are hunting you, you can preemptively RPF torpedo them. It's a very useful perk, and learning to use it will make you a better player overall. Flag wise, signals, I mean, we are running the camo, aren't we? Yeah, we're running the basic Benham camo. Once again, Master of Gold Venom. How does this look? Okay, I guess. I'm not too big a fan of those, but if you enjoy them, there you go. Signal wise though, priority number 1 is detonation. Once again, you start, when it comes to signal flags, you start the same way. Survivability. Don't detonate, be fast enough to run away, faster consumable, faster smoke, faster speed boost. Then when you got that, then you can start building into flooding chance, and then you can start building into fire chance, maybe some AA. It doesn't do much, but hey, every little bit counts. But that's the philosophy I will always take when it comes to DDs. There are some exceptions, for example, if you play very aggressive builds, but usually if you play very aggressive builds, you already know what the hell you're doing in the ship, and then you can like modify it. But when it comes to learning and having some idea, a basic build is always going to be a safe build. That's why always when people ask me, hey, what should I build on this battleship, I always go, play tank. That's the best way you learn. If you need to ask what you're supposed to build, then you probably don't feel very comfortable in the ship. And the best way to learn the ship is to play a survival build that allows you to learn what you can get away with and what you can't, and then you can start trading away survivability for additional damage. That's not to say that this is a particularly survivable build. This is literally just the best build in my opinion. I can't think of a single thing I would replace on this Benham build. Like, there's nothing you want to give up. You don't want torpedo acceleration. You don't want any of these things. The only thing that maybe you can trade is priority target for preventive maintenance for better survivability on torpedo tubes. Other than that, pretty much, in my opinion, as optimal as you can. This is always going to be a debate, by the way, which one is better, because both of these are great. One is great for priority target is great for seeing how many people are on the flank, how much incoming fire are you expecting, is this a gunfight you can expect to win against an enemy DD, or if the ship you're fighting, is he switching to torpedoes or is he focusing on his main guns. This gives you a lot of information. On the other hand, this is just good survivability, additional extra survival, 30% on torpedo tubes and guns, which can be decisive, especially on a ship something like Friesland, which only has 2 guns. Not losing that 1 gun might mean winning the gunfight. So this will always be a debate, and this will always be a flavor. I know some people who always go preventive maintenance. I'm one of those who always go priority target. It doesn't mean that one is better than the other. It's usually just what you're used to and what you feel more comfortable with. Anyway, that was my Benham commentary. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will probably see a bit
Okay, I hope that was informative and helped you out a bit. Very important just to understand how to play a ship and how to, in certain circumstances, depending on your ship, what to do, what not to do. So I hope that helps. I think that was a good exercise today, focusing on destroyers, the Mogador, the Benham. And thanks for watching today. We'll be live again next Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. New York time. And may live stream later today, early this evening. So everybody take care. Thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon. Michael J. over and out. And remember, love and peace to everyone. Take care. Stay safe.